What is the hollow earth theory? By definition, it is the concept or theory that Earth contains a hollow or substantial interior space, basically suggesting that there is a subterranean land located inside of Earth with entrances located at the north and south poles. This concept has been around since ancient times, making it a common basis for mythology, legends, and folklore. But remember, mythology may have the word myth in it, but at one time it was real to the people of its origin. The hollow earth theory lends its hand to being the foundation of many civilizations, as many either believe their people originated from this inner world, this hollow earth, this netherworld, this underworld, and or believe the afterlife was also spent in this place inside of earth. No different than religions such as Christianity that today believe you can die and go to hell, which is theoretically located inside of earth, or how Jews have soul and the Greeks had Hades. The ancient Greeks claimed that there were taverns under our surface that were actually entrances and paths to the underworld. Noted taverns named were Tyanaron and Laconia, which is present-day Cape Matapan in Greece and once believed to be the home to Hades, Trozen and Argolis, Aphaia and Thesprotia, Heraclea and Pontos. Heraclea is named after Hercules, whom the ancient Greeks believed entered the underworld at a cave here at Cape Baba, which is now in present-day Turkey. And last but not least, Ermione, Greece. The Mesopotamians had a story of a man who traveled through a dark tunnel in Mount Mashu that led to a subterranean garden. In Hinduism, the underworld is referred to as Patala, which is translated to meaning that which is below the feet. It is described as being more beautiful than heaven, filled with splendid jewels, beautiful groves, lakes, and lovely demon maidens. A place where sweet fragrances and sweet music fill the air. The soil here is black, white, purple, sandy, yellow, stony, and also of gold. It is composed of 7 different regions, with each ruled by different demons. Although there is no sun in Patala, lightness comes from the shining of the jewels of the soils and on the garments of its residents. Below Patala is Naraka, also known as Hell in Hinduism, notably located between the universe and Patala. Speaking of Patala having 7 different regions, it kind of reminds me of the Quran mentioning that there are 7 heavens and 7 earths, a concept that also lends itself to ancient Mesopotamia, Judaism, Islam, and even Jainism. As far as Christianity, the second book of Enoch, known as the Book of Secrets, tells of 10 heavens. Within these 10 heavens are the Garden of Eden, the homes of the 12 zodiacs, hell, angels who control the weathering on earth, angels who are appointed over the different seasons and different years, the rivers, seas, and even angels appointed over people and over every grass and even fruits. These regions also contain the sun, the moon, and other stars, phoenixes, and different hierarchies of angels, God himself, and get this, Grigori soldiers, aka soldiers of Satan that look like humans but were giants instead, aka the Watchers, aka fallen angels, aka the fathers of the Nephilim. The Taino tribes were natives of much of the Caribbean, such as Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, and the Lesser Antilles. They believe that their ancestors emerged in ancient times from 2 caves in an underground mountain. Natives of the Trobriand Islands, located just off the east coast of Papua New Guinea, believe their ancestors also came from a subterranean land through a cave called Obucula. Brazilian Indians located amongst the Paraná River in Brazil claim that their ancestors also emerged from an underground land, that many of their ancestors still remain inside the earth. The Mandan are a Native American tribe of the Great Plains who primarily reside in North Dakota. It is said that their ancestors emerged from a subterranean land through a cave at the north side of the Missouri River. What if the Bering Strait land bridge, which emerged from the sea and connected North America to Asia during the Ice Age, was not the only means of traveling between the 2 lands? Theoretically speaking, they could have traveled across the Bering Land Bridge or through the underworld. There is also a tale about a tunnel in San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona near Cedar Creek, which is said to actually lead inside the earth to a land inhabited by a mysterious tribe. The Iroquois tribe also believed their ancient ancestors emerged from a subterranean world located inside the earth. Ancient oral history in the Cusco area of Peru tells an origin story of three caves that notes their beliefs in their ancestors coming from a subterranean world. The Samoyedic people were the indigenous people of Siberia. Russian legends has it that the Samoyedic people traveled to a cavern city inside the earth to live. The elders of the Native American tribe called the Hopi, located in northeastern Arizona, USA, believe that a small hole in the Grand Canyon leads to the underworld.
Sinom asmodi atkabe siwa. Pu'nawa sinom omi katihep ya. Haki masaw au iki pamasaw yan matiwa. Masaw amami pangkaw iitut ko habi makiwa. Sinom happy it dit squad our past the nut yaw yung ni. Tuwa na sabi, yep, mga maskya yota. Ni kyang nanan iwok nan kusani. Pan ititsquat ang nenengem kuktotani. Pan tewa na sabit au ikini.
In their origin story, after they emerge from the earth, the Pueblo are given a sacred quest. Find the center place.
So some clans went clockwise and some clans went counterclockwise. And as the clans migrated, they placed an insignia where they were at that particular time and place, which is a spiral.
Ove yaw hima mataktini masaw kita. Pan naptani tewa na sabe ike.
In ancient Germany during the Middle Ages, it was believed that there was a portal to the inner earth located between the mountains of Eisenach and Gotha. In Mexican folklore, there's tales of a cave in a mountain just 5 miles south of Ojinaga, which had devilish creatures who came from inside the earth that possesses Mexico, even to this day. The Celts have a legend of a cave called Crucian, aka Ireland's Gate to Hell, of an ancient cave where strange creatures would come from. The Irish also have many stories of medieval knights and saints who went on pilgrimages to a cave in Station Island County, Donegal, where they made trips to purgatory by traveling inside the earth. In County Down, Ireland, there is a myth that claims tunnels lead to the land of Tuatha De Danann. The Tuatha De Danann are thought to be a race in Irish mythology that represent the main deities of pre-Christian Gaelic Ireland, often associated with the passage tombs such as Brú na Bóinne, which are seen as portals to the underworld. The Tuatha De Danann are said to have came, served their purpose, then returned back underground to their subterranean lands. The Italian poet Dante described the hollow earth in his most notable work written in the 14th century called Inferno, which tells of the fall of Lucifer from heaven, causing the hole in the once spherical earth. The harsh fall caused not only a hole in the center of our planet, but a mountain located at one end of it called Purgatory. In the ninth layer of Inferno, Dante noted that Lucifer was being trapped waist deep in ice. Remember, this is supposed to be hell. I know it sounds like a reach, but if Dante's story is true, that Lucifer's fall created the hole through the earth, and his fall also caused the earth push from inside the earth to outside the earth to form the mountain called Purgatory in his story, then Purgatory could very well be Mount Sidley or Mount Erebus or any of the other 91 volcanoes in Antarctica. And technically, Lucifer could be waist deep in ice because this is all happening in Antarctica. In Dante's Inferno, hell is depicted as 9 concentric circles located inside the earth. In order, they are limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. Concentric is defined as of or denoting circles, arcs, or other shapes that share the same center, the larger often completely surrounding the smaller. Now, take a look at these images of common cave markings, especially from indigenous peoples. Also, if you notice, a lot of ancient civilizations were built concentrically. If you've watched my previous video on the 12 vowel vortices, the Algerian megaliths, also known as the Eye of Africa, is structured concentrically. Also, when Plato defined Atlantis, he said the following: the founders of Atlantis were half god and half human. They created a utopian civilization and became a great naval power. Their home was made up of concentric islands, separated by wide moats and linked by a canal that penetrated to the center. With that being said, pyramids are a concentric structure with squares encompassing smaller squares as the structure heightens to a point. Labyrinths are another popular concentric structure made popular by Greek mythology, but located all across the world on every continent, including Antarctica. Not new, but ancient. A lot of indigenous cave drawings show concentric drawings. The video on the origins of the Hopi found earlier in this video tell us why and what these concentric markings in caves stand for. These drawings are eerily similar to the layouts of labyrinths and, coincidentally, crop circles made by quote-unquote aliens. Labyrinths and pyramids rear their heads throughout ancient civilizations, and nobody seems to know much about how and why these structures were built, and even by whom. I mentioned Atlantis previously, and as well as the second book of Enoch stating that the Garden of Eden itself is located within the 10 heavens, as he called it. It makes you start to think. The ancient Zimbabweans, the Minoans of Crete, the Clovis people of New Mexico, the Mayans of Central America, the Indus Valley Civilization, the original inhabitants of Easter Island, the Angkor peoples of Cambodia, the Croatoan, aka the lost colony of Roanoke, North Carolina, the Anasazi, the Cahokia Indians of Illinois, USA, the Nabateans of Jordan, the Katahoyuk of Anatolia, Turkey, the Olmec civilization, the Mycenaean civilization in Greece. These are some of the most notable of ancient civilizations that just vanished without a trace of war or any migration. These lost civilizations could definitely have went back to their place of origin, just as other surviving indigenous peoples noted that their ancestors decided to do. For all we know, Area 51 could be built on top of a found cavern that leads to the underworld, aka Agartha, to these so-called aliens. It is in the perfect location, after all, in the southwestern United States, where many indigenous tribes once thrived and conquered. Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd was an American naval officer and explorer as well as an active Freemason with claims of having the first expeditions to reach both the North and South Pole by air. Admiral Byrd is known for discovering Mount Sidley, the largest dormant volcano in Antarctica, in 1934. During Operation High Jump, he also claimed that in the middle of Antarctica was an area where there was not any snow, but land of greenery and plant life. Encompassed in this greenery, he claimed there was a lost civilization. According to Byrd's diary, the government ordered him to remain silent about what he had witnessed during his assignment, noting, and I quote, March 11, 1947. I have just attended a staff meeting at the Pentagon. I have stated fully my discovery and the message from the master. All is duly recorded. The president has been advised. I am now detained for several hours, 6 hours, 39 minutes to be exact. I am interviewed intently by top security forces and a medical team. It was an ordeal. I am placed under strict control via the national security provisions of the United States of America. I am ordered to remain silent in regard to all that I have learned on the behalf of humanity. Incredible. I am reminded that I am a military man and I must obey orders. This lost civilization that Rear Admiral Byrd refers to located inside the earth is called Agartha. Admiral Byrd claimed to have met Agartha's leader, who is referred to as Master. He noted that the Master had told him the following concern about the surface world. And I quote, Our interest rightly begins just after your race exploded the first atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. It was that alarming time we sent our flying machines, the Fluglads, to your surface world to investigate what your race had done. You see, we have never interfered before in your race's wars and barbarity. But now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for your man, mainly that of atomic energy. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the power of your world, and yet they do not heed. Side note, a Fluglad is the name given to the flying saucers or flying discs people often associate aliens with. The master had also mentioned that Tibet, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the North Pole all had tunnels leading to Agartha. This conversation between Agartha's master and Admiral Byrd hints that the government actually knew about Agartha before Byrd's expedition and wanted to keep it a secret. Furthermore, John D. Rockefeller Jr. was a patron of Byrd's expeditions, hence the portion of Antarctica named Rockefeller Plateau. It's always questionable when the Rockefellers have their hands in anything. Nonetheless, a hollow earth actually makes sense when you chime in the fact that they have found remains of giants, evidence of aliens, and pyramids in Antarctica. If you've read the book of Enoch from the Apocrypha, which are books left out of the Christian Bible, you had read that when the angels fell from heaven, they interbred with human women and experimented with breeding with animals. This was possible because the angels were amorphous, meaning without any definite shape or form. Their children with these animals and human women came to be giants and dinosaurs. God punished these giants with doom, knowing they'd be the cause of their own demise, and once dead, their souls would emerge from their body and be evil forever. And this is the origin of demons. He punished the fallen angels to eternal imprisonment. So it's not exactly that strange that they'd find giant remains at the ends of the earth where God casted them. In reference to alien findings, are aliens really that far-fetched? And are they even alien to this planet at all? With this hollow earth theory, they could very well come from inside of Earth. Think about it in this way. Maybe aliens are not extraterrestrial, but instead demons. An English occultist named Aleister Crowley sketched the one demon that manifested itself before him during a summoning. Funny how his sketch of a demon resembles the image that we are given via media to be aliens. It would not be out of the way to say that these aliens lie below and inside of the earth, and they are actually demons. And when you look at how demons actually formed in Christianity, these fallen angels weren't technically evil. Their children, the dinosaurs and giants whose souls became demons, they were evil. The fallen angels themselves gave humanity the secrets of heaven to be more independent from God, and they didn't hate humans, their offsprings did. They actually loved humans, well, at least human women, and wanted to make us gods on earth. In the 19th century, American Army officer, trader, and lecturer John Cleves Sims Jr. suggested that Earth had a hollow shell about 810 miles thick with an opening about 1,400 miles across at both poles, with four inner shells each opened at the poles. Sims is the most famous early hollow Earth theorist. His theory became the basis for the future works of several authors. William Fairfield was one of these inspired authors and penned the book Paradise Found, the cradle of the human race at the North Pole in 1885, presenting the idea that humanity originated on a continent in the Arctic called Hyperborea. Get this, in Greek mythology, Hyperboreans were a race of giants who lived beyond the north wind. It was a land said to be perfect, sun shining for 24 hours a day, just like today's Arctic Circle has during the midnight sun time of the year. According to Greek poet Pindar, neither by ship nor on foot would you find the marvelous road to the assembly of the Hyperboreans, which lends a hand to only reaching this area through the center of the earth, especially during ancient times when technology and transportation wasn't as advanced. There is mention of this land by Homer, Ptolemy, and other European scholars. William Fairfield's book later influenced author Marshall Gardner, who formed the theory that both the Eskimo and Mongolian peoples had originated from the interior of the earth through an entrance at the North Pole. With this, he penned the book titled A Journey to the Earth's Interior in 1913, which placed an interior sun inside of Earth. Gardner later patented this theory, and his works will later influence the 2008 film Journey to the Center of the Earth. In 1940, Georgian-American writer and sculptor George Papashvili penned Anything Can Happen, which claimed the discovery of a cavern containing human skeletons, quoting, with heads as big as bushel baskets, in the Caucasus Mountains. These caverns were said to lead to the center of the earth. British author Lobing Rampa penned that an underground chamber system exists beneath the Himalayas of Tibet and are filled with ancient machinery, records, and treasures in his book called The Cave of Ancients. He also linked Bigfoot and other ape-like monsters to these underground tunnel systems. In 1964, American alternative health, esoteric writer, and mystic Dr. Raymond Bernard penned The Hollow Earth, which expands on the ideology of UFOs actually coming from inside the earth. He also penned another work in 1989 called The Subterranean Worlds, 100,000 Years of Dragons, Dwarfs, the Dead, Lost Races, and UFOs. A science fiction pulp magazine called Amazing Stories promoted a series from 1945 to 1949 called The Shaver Mystery that made claims of a prehistoric race that built a honeycomb of caves in Earth whose descendants, called Dero, still resided there using abandoned ancient technology to torment surface dwellers. One form of torture they used was described as voices that came from seemingly nowhere, such as voices somebody with schizophrenia might hear. Thousands of readers chimed in, stating that they had heard these same voices. The writer, David Hatcher Childress, penned Lost Continents of the Hollow Earth in 1998, using these same stories to defend the Hollow Earth theory, agreeing that tunnel systems ran beneath South and Central America. Interesting enough, this brings me to Jordan Peele's 2019 film titled Us. The movie opens up telling about countless miles of empty tunnels crisscrossing through the underbelly of the United States, some being abandoned sewer lines, subway platforms, service ramps, but others whose origins and purpose we don't even know about. While Jordan Peele's movies are always very interesting, they are disturbingly built off the backs of way more truth than we recognize. The fact is, it has been confirmed that there are actually plenty of empty tunnels below our feet, no matter where you are in the United States. As stated by author of Underground, A Human History of the Worlds Beneath Our Feet, wherever you go, there's something under your feet that people don't think about. Maybe this is why they say, as above, so below. This theory could very well be true. Of course, it seems mind-blowing at first, but a lot of truths hidden in plain sight are. Technically, we've only been able to drill 7.5 miles deep into the earth, which is literally 9 inches in diameter and called the Kola Super Deep Borehole, and only took them about, 20 years to make? And Earth is 7,917.5 miles in diameter? So this seemingly deep hole hole is not deep at all. It scratches the surface barely. And all that stuff they taught us in school about the composition of the earth and its layers, about the crust, the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and the core, and how thick each layer is and what they are each made of. How could they actually know? And why would they go out their way to teach us something they kind of actually know nothing about? In theory, what we've been taught about Earth's layer is a theory. You might ask, why isn't the hole shown on satellite images? Well, how much can you trust these satellite images that, for one, never show the world fully rotate from outer space? And for two, if you watched my last video, you would know that they can't even capture images of certain areas on this planet. Three, why would the people who fund the space exploration want you, the average person, to know this information? Better for them to just cover it up, because 9 times out of 10, your average person will never go out of space to see this for themselves, nor will they make a trip to the North or South Pole or find themselves exploring deep, deep tunnels. But imagine how much your beliefs and perspectives would change if this information was confirmed and made readily available. It'd be like a domino effect of realizations popping off in your brain. Popping off in your brain.
Talk about going down the rabbit hole.
Literally.
For more discussions of conspiracy theories or odd and unusual things that happen on this planet or in outer space or anywhere, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will not let you down. Also, what are some conspiracy theories you would like for me to talk about? Because I've heard a lot, but obviously I haven't heard them all. Please comment down below and let me know.